Pardon me. Well, last time we got through a whole bunch of the tower, which was, I'm not gonna lie, not my, didn't feel like the game's proudest moment, but I still enjoyed some aspects of it. The music has been nice when, well, the amount of time of hearing it repeated while struggling with some of the stuff kind of grated me a bit, but just being able to listen to this music on its own, it's pretty cool. And also I dig the aesthetic. It's just unfortunate kind of how convoluted it's been. But for now though, we seem to be near the end. Before we go to the end though, there is one thing that's been hanging on my mind, and something I figured I would want to take care of before committing to the end of this playthrough. Also, hi Nate! And that thing that has been hanging on me are these D units. I mean, I know that there is meant to be a total of 12 of them, which means by now we would have been expected to have found all of them. But there's a few that have eluded me. And I'm figuring before I commit to the end, I am going to track down the remainder of these D units, which means I've decided to do something which I've been very careful to avoid doing so far, and that is looking up a guide. And I'm only really doing that because I have been really unsure about where to find these things, and I figure this is probably the best I can do for that. So, what we need to find is D Unit 1, 5, and 6. So, we're finding those three. And, seeing how things go with picking those up. Hey, Brad. Hey, not much has been missed. Just kind of explaining things, let's see, it sounded like you kept yourself from vomiting as you said that. Does the idea of a guide really make you that sick? Okay, there's nothing wrong with using a guide. It's like, it's just, part of it for me is, like, part of what this playthrough has been about for me in particular has been just enjoying this for the first time and trying to figure out everything and, you know, being able to be someone, yeah, you're having a bit of pride in having been able to beat the game by myself. And it's like, cause like I know there have been times when I've had a guide at my hand when I go through part of the game, and like just because there are some parts that are either they're frustrating or I just the solution to something was so obtuse that it felt like, how could anyone know this without a purpose-built strategy guide? Yeah. Yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah, I do want to like have it be as a last, only if I absolutely need it. And, oh yeah, I heard that the oh you're talking about watching the Panzer Dragoon, and, I've been replaying the Metabot RPG, watching the anime. Yeah, I never played any of the Metabots games myself. I remember enjoying the anime while it was on TV. So apparently the first one is above the excavation site. Access the birds. Alright. Yeah, it's definitely a case of I want to be able to figure it out, but yeah, there will come a point where it's like I'm not gonna know this unless I like look it up, and it's like maybe when I was very young and I had a lot of time to burn, I would have been like, yeah, I'll just pound my head against this section until I figure it out, but yeah. Let's see. Birds. Ooh. What's going on? We are flying on autopilot. Just vibing with the birds. Our little buddy. Oh. Oh, this is... So we've accessed a little hidden area here. Kanana's Nest. There's D Unit 1. And an ambrosia, nice. Yeah, just gonna chill here for a moment, and let's see. Looking at it here, yeah, use guides for collectibles, yeah. Yeah, that's kind of one of those things, like, especially when it comes to stuff like the Korok seeds and Breath of the Wild, like, the people who are insane enough to 100% that, I can't imagine doing that without, like, an explicit, like, thing to work with. Yeah, let's see. Probably missed the combat. Yeah, it's like, if the game requires me to get, like, all of, like, of 100 insignificant things just for the sake of an ending, I feel kind of hard to justify that. Like, if I really feel up for it, maybe I can try for some of that, but there are just some things that go too far with that. And in fact, I'll admit, that's one of the reasons I double-checked that before deciding to do this tonight, because I was super worried that some of the D units were going to be in some of, like, these locations that we can't access anymore. But thankfully, for some of the hiccups this game has had in its design, thankfully the developers had enough sense to not do something stupid like putting this little D unit thing as a, oh, if you didn't search into this one little nook and cranny when you were being pushed through a moment in the story, you lost access to the ultimate thing forever. And I'm glad that they did not do that. And on the thing that was mentioned earlier about Advance Wars, I think that's kind of neat that that's coming out. I'm still not sure if I'm gonna go for it myself, because maybe at some point I'll give some of that stuff a greater shot, but I've just been absolutely terrible when it comes to strategy games. Like, I've only ever gotten partway through any Advance Wars game that I've played. And go to the world map. One thing that I didn't realize, though, that was cool to find out was that apparently Way Forward is working on the remake, which, when I thought about it, made sense because, like, with the way they did some of the animations, some of that stuff, it's like, oh yeah, that does kind of look like something Way Forward would work on. I thought Days of Ruin was kind of neat. Maybe I just didn't play enough into it, but I didn't think it seemed as edgy as everyone made it out to be. But I mean, I do recognize that it was kind of darker in tone. Okay, so 5 and 6 are both in Uru. Excuse me. Kind of dark. You know, I'll just pop out for a bit and wait, because when I went in here last time to try to figure things out with that bird, seeing it dark is just, okay, I guess maybe I should just go back to camp, wait it out. Let's see. Saga, known for his comics. Known for his comics on Reddit, hates the Advance Wars remake, so do a lot of people. They cite the graphics as having a plastic touch. Really? Like, I mean, okay, but at the same time, Advance Wars, at least for how it's been presented for, like, on Game Boy Advance and all that, it's always been kind of a silly, colorful aesthetic. Yeah, like, I mean, if it's just like, okay, it feels like a plastic quality, like, maybe you would have preferred, like, a hand-drawn design, maybe, but at the same time, when I looked at it, is that, see, I think the point they try to make is that Pixar has more character. I mean, I can get that, kind of, but, like, I mean, then again, I'm not a hardcore Advance Wars, player, but to me, looking at those 3D models, they looked pretty good to me. But I mean, yeah, again, I am not the audience for this game, so yeah. At the same time, though, I do like that at least they are making sure that it's a series that's having a chance in the limelight again. Just because it's, like, it's kind of sad sometimes that some stuff doesn't, like, get a chance. Let's see, okay, Uru, sunken southern ruins next to entrance. Next to entrance, it says. Gonna spend a little bit of time looking around. Well, there's the whale thing we ran into. Next to entrance. Just gonna double check to make sure. And I still need number 5. Next to entrance. Let's see. Reason couldn't get into Fire Emblem The reason I couldn't get Advance Wars was because it lacked the character of Fire Emblem and it lacked the complexity or gameplay of RTS games I enjoyed back in that time, like StarCraft. I mean, like, for me, I think from what I've understood, that's kind of been the issue Nintendo had with that versus Fire Emblem. Like, I would say, like, there is character in the COs, but at the same time, like, when it comes to, like, actual units being fielded, like, it is just, like, nondescript soldiers and vehicles. So I can kind of get that. Where the heck is this thing? I might have to pull up a map. So let's see. Because of the popularity of Advanced Wars, I never really heard the reasoning behind that. I'm mostly, for me though, what always got me interested was the whole, I mean, frickin' Smash. Oh, the looking up this thing. Okay, so it is at the entrance to the ruins. Okay. Yeah. I suppose that's kind of meant to be part of the difference in terms of their approach, though, is that it's less about the individual characters that you build up, and it's about the kind of that thing of war of like, oh yeah, you're individually throwing out specific purpose-built units. Okay, so there's an armor chip, and this should be D Unit 5. Awesome. I would not have thought to... Like, I get that they would only want certain stuff to appear after you fight certain bosses, but that's kind of another beef for me, I think. Oh well. So, deep north. Remake of Battalion Wars. It smashed up, man. What does the D unit do? From what I understand, it's going to upgrade our dragon. Because in the ruins, they mentioned that they use the D unit to like split things up and do stuff. Oh, heck, I forgot. Went on autopilot there for a bit. Remake of Battalion Wars. Yeah, that's one that was another one. I mean, surprise, surprise, I didn't do well with a strategy game, but I remember renting Battalion Wars for a hot minute and having fun with that. I remember that they made a sequel on the Wii, though that I kind of I think I kind of did not play that. See, the thing is, when you bring up Yu-Gi-Oh! And mention D, all I can think of is how there was that one character who was just called Lord of D. Okay. There it is. D Unit 6. Whoa. Okay, this is... Ah, damn! That is super cool looking. Got little energy trails on my wings, and I got a little dangle situation going on. Whatever that is. I mean, his attack is more powerful for sure. Let's see. Oh, and my berserk points look like they're maxed out to a 999. Let's see. Oh, oh. So I guess the idea is that this is the perfectly ultimately balanced dragon because I no longer have the shifting thing, which I'll admit I'm kind of sad that that is no longer a thing that we have because I thought that was a super cool like thing. But I mean, if the idea is that this is the ultimate dragon, I guess we don't have to worry about it. Heck. Yeah. D unit makes MIDI more fancy, indeed. Oh. Midgar Armor is an awesome boy. And oh, okay, that's an interesting thing. Okay, so I guess the idea is that when he's flying, he has the things like this, and then it's like his wings are kind of like little. It's like a VTOL hover thing. With like little jetty jets under his wing are keeping him hovering. It totally is better than Perfectly Ultimate Great Moth. Yes, yes, it is. Huh. Now, I'm just gonna... check a thing. Let's see. One thing I want to check now that we have our dragon is there have been, and there's especially a ship in the middle of the desert that I want to break open. Because our laser was not powerful enough before, but now we have the full 6 cell thing going on. And our laser strength indicator. Let's see. Yeah, I'm definitely going to want to save. And we can actually kind of see how he looks when he's on the land. So, ooh, just let him sleep for now. Yeah. Yeah, you just need a couple of 105mm Vulcan cannons to turn MIDI into a gunship. I mean, he's already a fucking powerhouse, but yeah. And what the oh dang. Okay, so I guess that's like that long thing is just like his foot now. He's a fucking mono leg. What's the proper term for when you only got one leg? Yeah. I guess that's kind of the thing about this. And this guy, he's got to look cool as frick, but just imagine him like little hopping around. I love you, Midgard Storm. Don't mind me. You are a super cool dude. It don't matter what anyone else says. You are freaking awesome. He's that joke from Naked Gun 3 with the chick with the super long legs. Alright. Leave Gap and head to the desert. Have one of those in our campaign and have Zoss for the Sentinel, right? That would just have to be the goofiest thing. Got a centaur riding a dragon, especially one with like freaking long foot thing. Have to be the weirdest thing. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, well, that was a thing. Yeah. All right. This stupid thing has been taunting me since near the beginning of the game. It's destroyed. I hope nothing bad happens. Okay. And what do we find down here? And this is Plasma Swarm. What is Plasma Swarm? Is that a... focused energy beams? So I'm guessing that's like some super powerful thing now. Berserk, as it were. Let's see. Fly out. Hey, Asshole 2020. Yeah, nice to have you back. This has been kind of a chill thing so far. I've just been kind of enjoying wrapping up, getting some things done before I commit to the full end. Got this pretty swank and awesome Light Wing. Yeah, I wasn't. I'll admit when they said, "Oh yeah, it's a light wing." I'll admit my first thought, especially since it's kind of hyped up as being the ultimate thing, I thought it would just be the model for the original Blue Dragon from Panzer Dragoon 1. But this is like awesome. It's even better. Even if at the same time, man, this looks kind of this thing looks kind of funny on the ground. You know what? Let's see, go to world map. And I'm just gonna put myself in camp while I figure out what exactly I'm gonna do next. Do the wait until morning. Is he the son of my dragon? Oh. Oh, he tripped. He doesn't walk much, huh? Yeah, thanks. Hopefully the last area will do well. I wonder how we're petting him, if just like we're patting his leg tail thing, or if like kind of pictured him kneeling down on his one freaking leg. What should I do? Get paid back? Unfortunately, the thing is, most of the people who've dicked me over have already died. Like, you know, Zoa got pretty much nuked by the Empire. Yeah, it's I guess kind of the unfortunate thing is that I only got this at the very end of the game after I've cleared most of the content. I mean, there's still probably some things I can run into and beat handily, but yeah, like the big bosses. God. And yes, yes, as of 2020, I have been. This game has an awesome soundtrack. I'm looking forward to listening to the rearranged version at some point when I finish this up, because I've been waiting through to, like, I've been holding off before I do that. But like, this really is an excellent track. Not track, soundtrack. This is a great soundtrack. Yeah. It's been a kind of thing where, looking back on how this has been going, it's not bad. I have the vinyl. You have the vinyl for the soundtrack. Nice. I have no use for vinyl myself since I don't really do records, but that is, just as a matter of like having that sort of thing, that is super cool. Like, I've kind of given up on the thought that I'll even be able to own like a soundtrack CD for this series, and that I'll just have to download everything. So that's really cool that you have like a physical release. I'll admit, I've been, only got the last section to go. I'll say this. And oh, there are a lot of better tracks they could have chosen for its need to have. Yeah, you'd hope that at least for something as big as a vinyl cover, they'd at least have that. But yeah, that's cool. You know, maybe I'll just kind of go around for a bit. This is kind of where we started the whole drag it back gameplay segment. Yeah. It's been kind of a thing of... With this game, I'm glad I've gotten the chance to play through it and appreciate it and enjoy it for what it's worth. Because there's so many hints of, like, exposure to this that I've gotten over time. Like, my very first run-in with this series was, you know, getting Orta. And there was so much about it that I thought was really cool, and it was fun, and everything about the presentation, like the art style, and the music, and the gameplay was solid, and I wanted to enjoy it for, you know, everything that I could, but it's kind of unfortunate that this is such a niche series. And this game in particular, like, when it comes to, like, the music, it's been interesting seeing the evolution of things, because it's like, I know for the first game, the original soundtrack was by a different composer entirely. And then starting from the second game on, they had Saori Kobayashi, I believe is her name, who did the music for Zwei, Saga, and Orta. And the music for the first game was great. It's fun and I enjoyed listening to it, but I can definitely say that this series definitely got more of a sense of identity to it in terms of its sound from the second game on. It's got this nice world kind of broad-reaching quality to it. And Orta will make so much more sense after you finish this and play Order again. Yeah, that's kind of the thing is, I look forward to having a refresh on that experience again, because besides just diving into that and being able to see more of the world again, it's having kind of basically gone in and played these games back to back to back. It's nice to get a full context for everything. And, like, being able to play it again with the knowledge of everything from the first game to Saga that led up to it, I look forward to being able to play it anew with all of this context behind it. Being able to fully appreciate it for being kind of the coda to the series that Orta is, in a sense. I have a soft spot for Orta's soundtrack in particular, though that may be because it was my first one. But maybe I'll see how I feel when I dive back into it again. And when it comes to the whole idea of being able to appreciate how this series has gone, I mean, part of it is that there's of course been the just seeing how it's evolved in terms of one, having a bit of complexity in terms of its gameplay, and also how they've kind of developed this world even more, where it's like, I would not say it's bad, but I would say when it comes to the first Panzer Dragoon, in comparison to everything that has come on after it, is, you know, especially with playing Zwei and Saga, the original Panzer Dragoon felt more kind of like it had an excuse in terms of its plot to facilitate gameplay. That's okay. Run. Yeah. Good night. Yeah. It's good, no doubt. It's hard to appreciate it because there's a lot of shining stuff with the music. Yeah, I can get how there's that difficulty with the music. But yeah, like, I mean, Panzer Dragoon has undoubtedly had an interesting world even from the first game, but it's been interesting having more context and realizing why all this stuff is being done. Yeah. It's the best series in terms of show, not tell, story design. Yeah. Like, there has been some explicit things, but it's kind of nice how it tries to let you figure things out. Destroy these now. Oh! Yeah. Hey, it's these things. Haven't seen you in a while. What? Let's see how well you do. I mean, these are kind of low-level monsters anyway, but yeah. And it's kind of a thing of, it's legit to have a game that's super upfront, but at the same time, there is something to be said for a game that lets you figure out things on your own time, think out what you've been through, what you've seen, putting together clues. Coolie is done. Fossilized Coolie pieces. Oh. Very powerful fan used in wooden nets. But yeah, yeah, like as I was saying, kind of getting the chance to go through this and enjoy it for what it is. I'm especially glad to have been able to play this game and see it and, well, being able to appreciate it still, because it still has signs of aging. And the thing is, that's going to be almost kind of inevitable, I think, with this this era of gaming in particular, because when you have the era of the PlayStation 1 and Saturn and N64, it was kind of like the first major leap into figuring out how we would do 3D games. And we were still kind of trying to figure things out and how best to present things. And while this game has kind of tripped up a few times, it's done surprisingly well. Like, it's impressed me. Especially because, like, I'll keep hearing people talk about how the Saturn was better suited for 2D than 3D. And at the same time, though, this has been a treat to play and experience. See. Yeah, in fact, you know, getting it being compared to Star Fox, that's actually kind of the reason that I got into this to begin with, is because I heard that Panzer Dragoon, it was kind of like Star Fox in some respects. I mean, obviously it's different in some ways in terms of its gameplay, because even if you're just talking about the shooter type stuff, it's different insofar as, like, you have the 360-degree aiming. There's the difference in terms of, like, its setting where, even though they're both sci-fi, obviously Star Fox is much more space opera, while Panzer Dragoon is more this this kind of post-apocalyptic kind of a... There's hints of a feeling of fantasy, but it is definitely much more rooted in this idea of, like, it is this technology that has kind of become mystified over time. And I find something very fascinating to that when you have that idea of science that has become sort of misunderstood and changed by time and perception. Yeah, definitely different tones. Heck you. Oh, that was so satisfying. And yeah, it's also a thing of, I find it interesting how they're different and similar in some respects, like, especially with how they'll couch it in different ways, like with how, in Star Fox, it was kind of a little bit different at first, but, like, by the time of the 64, when they really codified everything, you have, like, when it comes to these two games, you, of course, have the concept of, like, you have a standard shot, and you have a charged lock-on kind of situation. Obviously, though, with Panzer Dragoon here, instead of it just being, okay, you have one little laser, then you have the charged thing just from holding on, it's, you have your gunner, the rider, who will shoot off the little pea shooter things, and then the dragon shoots off their arrows of light attack. do this. Yeah. And I think it's pretty interesting how you can still have these things that are the same basic concept, but they express it and bring it out in different ways, and I think that is super cool. And yeah, there's kind of that thing of, it's kind of unfortunate that, that Panzer Dragoon has not stuck out as much, by comparison to Star Fox because of some things like that. But at the same time, it's kind of the sort of thing that you could probably almost say that it's kind of a good thing that at the very least Panzer Dragoon has a very it has its own taste, its own feel that makes it different, and I'm kind of glad that there is a feel for that. Because if it was just another shooter, that would have been boring. And instead, it's kind of its own weird little thing. Let's see, food for thought in these games. Star Fox 64, much better gameplay overall. Nintendo's always done well there. Still, this game is so much more personalized to how you want to play. Yeah, like, I think it kind of helps that, yeah, there's something to be said for the Nintendo polish. And there are some aspects to Panzer Dragoon that you almost get the feeling of they slightly kind of took some ideas. I mean, obviously there was plenty of Panzer Dragoon that came out before 64, but like I'll think of stuff like how in Orta they had some of the maneuvers things where you could like almost that were kind of like the boost and brakes from 64. And it kind of feels like they borrow a little bit from that DNA. At the same time, though, there is definitely something to this that makes it distinct, and in some ways, I kind of prefer it over Star Fox. Like, League. And it makes me glad that at the very least we have two distinct, interesting series in that sense. Like, at the same time though, I guess it's also been kind of an unfortunate thing that both series have kind of gone off to the wayside, because I guess we just kind of live in a world where this style of shooter just isn't popular anymore. Just wish they hadn't lost the code for this game. Yeah, I heard that too, that apparently they lost the source code, which is depressing. I suppose it's kind of a thing, though, that they might have to kind of rebuild this game from the ground up if they ever, well, if they were to ever revisit it again. It's kind of a thing, though, as I'm playing through this, and like I said, it's kind of a shame that these kinds of series have not continued. Like, the tower was kind of a hiccup to me, but otherwise, this has been a pretty solid game. The battle system has been solid. Yeah, chance time to come around, and maybe indies will pick up on this and embrace it. Yeah, like it would be really cool to to see kind of a revival of this kind of rail shooter type thing. I know there's a group that's trying to set about trying to do a remake of this game, though it's like obviously an indie thing and they don't have the license, and that might go off in another direction entirely. But it's cool to see that there's interest there for something like that. And I know that there's that that VR game that's supposedly gonna happen. That, heck, I might try to get a VR rig if that actually comes out. And because, I mean, besides that, there's also like Half-Life Alyx and all that. But like, yeah, like it would be cool to try out like some actual VR. Like, I mean, I have tried VR in the sense that like I've gotten like one of those like things you strap onto your head for your smartphone, and I also have a Labo VR, but that's not exactly like, you know, one of those cool like Oculus or Valve Index headsets. Yeah, hopefully they'll be able to turn it around. And yeah, that is also kind of the other unfortunate thing, that you're probably not going to get a large publisher going on to some projects like that. Still, hopefully it'll go well. And well, it's been about an hour, and I should probably stop at this point. I got all the D units, got the most awesome dragon, the simultaneously the most awesome and silly looking dragon in the world. It is fantastic. I'm glad I decided to take the time to find the rest of those D units. But yeah, with that one last little thing hanging over my head taken care of, I think I feel ready to go in and try to finish things up next time around. So, who knows? Maybe next time, maybe Sunday will be the ultimate episode, the end of this playthrough of Panzer Dragoon Saga. Yeah, I'm gonna call it for a night here. Yeah. Save one more time just because. Yeah, have a nice nap, Nate. We've had our peaceful interlude, and well, things will move on. Yeah, thanks. You take care too, Hazel. 2020.